Cool. Welcome back to the BuffNerd podcast. As usual, I'm Terrence Davey, and I have a special guest with me today, my first jiu-jitsu instructor and a beast of a man, Gustavo Gasperin.
What's up?
How's it
What's
going,
up, Terrence?
Gustavo?
Going good, going
All right.
good. Good to see you here and stay here talking
Yeah,
to you guys.
definitely. Also, got to give a shout out to MMA Leech.
There we go.
How would
There
you
go.
describe MMA Leech?
MMA Leech is, let's say, a database for mostly jiu-jitsu nowadays. I used to, post more MMA stuff, but now it's mostly jiu-jitsu stuff,
Yeah.
techniques and articles and everything related to jiu-jitsu.
So basically, if you're sick and getting your ass whipped in the gym, you might want to follow MMA Leech.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Cool, man. As usual with this podcast, especially like to have people on that I already know, so I can learn a little bit more about them,
Mhm.
learn a little bit more about their backstory. So what's up, man? Where are you from? I know where you from. But where you from?
I'm from Brazil. Uh, I'm from a town called Curitiba, which is, nowadays kind of famous town in the fighting world. Is the place where Anderson Silva came
Mm,
from, Vanderlei Silva, all those guys from To The Box, uh, Pelé, Mauricio Shogun, his brother Murilo Rua. They're all from that town, and it's famous because of the To The Box Academy, which
mhm,
was one of the biggest MMA gyms. And it still is probably one of the biggest, but they don't have many fighters competing at the highest level right now.
mm.
Maybe just Chris Cyborg. But yeah, it got into the map because of in the martial arts world because of the To The Box Academy.
So were you growing up out there at the same time as some of these guys?
Yeah, same time. We are kind of same age, I would
Hmm.
say. I'm 43 now. 42, let's say. I'm gonna turn 43 in November. And yeah, those guys are around that age. I started jiu-jitsu in 1997.
Hmm.
At that time, it was under Master Carlos Lima, and some of the To The Box guys would go to my jiu-jitsu gym to learn jiu-jitsu. You
Nice.
know, they didn't have a jiu-jitsu program at a strong program at To The Box. They would go to my gym to learn from my instructor. So I would see them there. I rolled with some of them when I was, a white belt. They were
Hmm.
most of them were white belts at that time too. And yeah, it was pretty sick,
Yeah, definitely.
pretty violent.
Just how we like it. How'd you get
Yeah.
started in jiu-jitsu? Like, what made you join a gym?
Most I started because at that I was maybe I guess 21 or 22,
Hmm.
a little older than most people who started, at least in Brazil. But because also jiu-jitsu got to my town a little later, after the first UFC. The first UFC was 1994, 19, when was it? I guess 1994, something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started in 1997, but jiu-jitsu just came to my town after 1994. So yeah, I lost your first question. How I started? Yeah,
Yeah, how'd
I
you start
started because
jiu-jitsu?
at that time, I was 21, 22. I always liked to practice sports,
Hmm.
but I was surfing mostly. Surfing was my
Really?
biggest sport at that time, and I could only go surf on the weekends
Hmm.
because the beach was maybe hour and 20 minutes from Curitiba, and I would go like just on the weekends. On the weekdays, I would work and do other stuff. So I was trying to find something, some sport to keep me in shape so I could go on the weekends and surf well and not gas out and all that stuff.
Hmm.
And jiu-jitsu was starting to get popular in my town. So, yeah, that's how I started. I took jiu-jitsu mostly as you know, to condition my body, to get in shape so I could surf well during the weekend. And then after a little bit I started enjoying, and jiu-jitsu became my number one sport
Yeah.
you know
So it seems like, well, it doesn't just seem like it. It is like jujitsu and surfing go hand in hand. And
Totally.
so
Yeah.
Did you get introduced to it by some surfers that you were hanging out with or something? Did you have
Yeah,
other friends that were
at
doing
that
it?
time I was working on a surf shop, so I knew a lot. I had a big network in the surfing space,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of my friends they were doing jujitsu. Kind of, I don't know, a good number of people they were doing surf and jujitsu. So yeah, I decided to try. Oh, it's gonna be cool. I would be in shape during the week, and also learn martial arts and
Mm-hmm.
defend myself and all that stuff. So I thought it was a good idea, and yeah, that's how I started. And it was pretty cool. Then I got hooked. Not on the first day, but
Yeah.
soon enough. I don't know, maybe I don't know,
Was
a
the
month, 2 months.
was the gym pretty hardcore, doing some hard
Pretty
rolling in there?
hardcore, pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Uh, at that time, there wasn't really jujitsu for fun,
Mm-hmm.
jujitsu for hobby, jujitsu for whatever. It was real stuff.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu to fight, jiu-jitsu to compete. It was all like you had to be pretty much an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
There was not much, people trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
You will go there to really fight, and yeah, it was hardcore. The training was hardcore, and I remember maybe I sticked with jiu-jitsu because my instructor was, he would call me at my home if I wasn't showing up,
Mm.
because after the first month or so, he started calling me, and I don't know why. Maybe, of course, he wanted to keep the students there, but at the same time, he saw something maybe because I was, doing well
Mm-hmm.
already as a beginner white belt. I learned kind of not I'm not I don't think I was a super fast learner, but above average, I
Mm-hmm.
would say. So quick I was raising, to the top guys, and I think that's how it started, and that's why he kept calling me. And then I didn't want to say no, and let's go, because at that time also there was a lot of pressure, like, because it was so fight oriented. If you were training jiu-jitsu and not competing, if you're training jiu-jitsu and not fighting, you were kind of considered as a pussy.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pressure to go there and train and compete and do something with it. So I didn't want to be called a pussy. So I was competing even though it was against my will. I didn't want to compete in the beginning, but that was the only choice.
Yeah.
I either compete or I'm gonna get kicked out of the gym.
Yeah.
There was no other option at that time. So
So I know now a lot, like you were saying, a lot more people do it for sport or for fun
yeah,
without ever competing. How do you feel about that? Because like it lowers the barrier, so a lot more people get
a
exposed to
lot more.
jujitsu.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I
it's
think it's good and bad.
mm-hmm.
It's good and bad. Um, I don't think everybody has to compete. I don't, but I think everybody has to train hard.
Mm-hmm.
At least it doesn't need to be every day, because training hard every day also it's not good. You're gonna get hurt, you're gonna get burned out, and all that stuff. But some days of the week or whatever you schedule that with your instructor or whatever, a whole week, and then the other week is lighter or something like that. You have, I think, to make your jiu-jitsu effective, and not only individually but as a martial art and as a sport, whatever, we have to have our students training as close as a real fight. I think that's important. And jiu-jitsu allows us to train hard, full speed, without throwing punches if we don't want to. So it's
Yeah.
kind of safe. If you want to go more towards the sports side, we can still train hard and not get hurt. After a while, we know how to move around, how to deal with our opponent, how to not get in bad positions.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, it might be a little harder. You might get hurt more in the beginning because you don't know how your body moves, what your opponent is doing. But after a while, you're fine. Like, I don't even know the last time I got hurt. Maybe it was like as a purple belt.
Yeah.
After that, you learn how to move and how to protect yourself, and you can even train while you're hurt because you just protect that arm or shoulder, whatever is hurt, so you can keep going. And of course, if you have to tap, you tap. You don't take risks, but you can still train while you're hurt.
That's something I struggle with because, like, I'll go and train when I'm hurt, but I have no self control. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. I must be okay. And then I'll be in the middle of a match, just all of a sudden rolling like I'm not hurt at all.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
before I know it, it's even worse than it was before.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
something I'm trying to learn more. As
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm still young, but my body has a lot of miles on
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
totally.
like,
Yeah.
actually,
I think it's a little bit of experience too.
definitely.
That's why I think I stopped getting hurt after purple belt. Maybe after already, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years
Mhm.
training. So it takes a while until you know how to control yourself, how to control your body, when it's time to move, when it's not the time to move. But definitely, it's something that you have to learn,
Yeah.
at some point.
It's like I never get hurt just like really rolling or anything. It's always something stupid. Like I just got hurt in a tournament a couple months ago. This
Yeah.
dude was trying to shoot a double leg on me, and I was
Yeah.
defending it, just stepping back a little bit, and I stepped off of the mat and just my knee
Yeah,
just.
yeah, yeah.
It's like that
It,
sucks. But
it
in
happens.
training, it's a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we train together.
Yeah.
A little while. I know that if you guys don't know Terrence, he's a monster, right? He's how heavy are you now?
250.
250. And 250, muscle, right? He's not, out of shape. So he's very, very strong, but he doesn't use his strength, which is good because then you keep developing your technique,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, I think you are very, very smart about that. You can crush anyone you want pretty much, and make them tap for pressure or something like that. But you keep it cool. You keep your technique, trying to improve. You play light. You can roll with a girl if you want, right? Some people cannot. They don't know how to control themselves, but you do pretty well. So yeah, I think it's still maybe just a little more experience, more years,
Yeah.
more hours on the mat, and yeah, it's gonna get to a point where you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Look at that. I got a shout out from Professor Gustavo today.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, that's Terrence was. Yeah, I don't know anymore, but you were.
Like you might suck.
You
But,
were. Yeah. You were a beast, a gentle beast.
Yeah, you know what? I really think and I can't wait until I get back from this injury so I can actually start doing this. Like I train really intensely, both in like weight training and sprints and jujitsu and all that.
Yeah.
But I do it and have like a rest day in between. But
Yeah.
on that rest day, I'm not keeping up like a level of activity. So it's
I
like I'm
see.
just trying to do a larger variety of active things.
Yeah.
Some of them a little bit lighter, so my
Ye-
body stays in shape without
Yeah.
putting wear and tear every day.
That's cool, and that's a good point too, because you can also do that with jiu-jitsu only, let's say.
Yeah.
Right? For example, right now, like I said, in the beginning, I used to surf a lot and do jiu-jitsu and other sports. Right now, I'm doing mostly jiu-jitsu. And then I can also vary the intensity of my training if I want. Some days, Sean knows also, I go like super light.
Mm-hmm.
I just play defense. I just like ball up and kind of take a nap, and let the guy stay on top, trying to pass and trying to submit me. And so I still break a sweat, but very, very light.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important also for, the jiu-jitsu guys listening to this, you can have an intense workout if you want. You can have medium, you can have light. You can play defense, you can play attack, you can, you know, many variables you can do with your jiu-jitsu training, and I think that's also important for the longevity.
Yeah.
If you want to keep in the sport and training, you cannot go hard all the time. So
Yeah, it takes a certain level of breaking your ego to go in and just have a really light rolling session while other people are still trying to roll hard,
yeah,
which is again something I'm trying to work on a lot more. Like it's not that I feel like a bully or anything, but it's like
hmm
I want to give 100%. It's like you don't always have to give 100%. You're in there training to get better.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
It's part of the experience I have to gain though.
Yeah, I think also that comes with the years of experience, because yeah, I used not to do like to do that in the past when I was, I don't know, blue belt, purple belt, maybe as a purple belt, like senior purple. I started doing that, but before than that, I was also like very competitive. No, I have to win all rounds and all that stuff. Unless I was going against someone who I knew I could beat easily, like a white belt or
Hmm.
beginner. Otherwise, I would try to, yeah, I want to win this role. I want to, because also that was the mentality at that time. Like it was so competition focused that there was no room to much roll light in this stuff. But it takes a little while until you break that, and then you realize that, yeah, I can also, work other areas of my game if I go light, if I let the guy attack me and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah.
you don't really surf much anymore.
No, I don't even know when it was the last time.
What made you stop?
I, you know, just really uh, focusing on teaching jiu-jitsu and doing jiu-jitsu as full-time job,
Hmm.
you know, because when I came to the United States, I was still a purple belt, but I didn't have any English, nothing. So I came here not knowing anyone. I have to start from zero, me and my wife. So I didn't start teaching classes, of course, because
Hmm.
I didn't even know how to speak, and I was a purple belt. So I worked in many different jobs, like delivering food, valet, parking, and all that stuff. And until I got a little better at English, then I started teaching one class a week at the gym that I was training, and then slowly I started progressing. But yeah, I don't even know what to ask. Do you remember?
Yeah, you stopped. What made you stop surfing?
Oh yeah,
Just a
yeah.
little
So
bit.
that was one of the reasons. Then once I started going full time teaching, then yeah, I kind of surfing started getting less and less and less. Surfing less. Also because I don't know, like I'm used to the Brazil type of surfing, which is I don't like the water here. Like it's too cold.
Yeah.
That's a big turn off for me. Like yeah, I'll wear the wetsuit, yeah, but kind of I don't know. I can't stay more than like 40 minutes
Mm,
in the water because I start, it's too cold for me. And also, it's very competitive here, the surfing.
mm,
Like at least the places that I went to, it's rare to go there and you have like a, you know, clean space so you can pedal and take your time. No, it's everybody like jumping on the same wave, like two, three people in the same wave. It's very competitive, and that kind of turned me off a little bit.
yeah.
Like I want to go there to relax. Since we have the stress of our lives every day. Then I want to go surf to relax and not to get more stressed. Then you
Yeah.
have to get stressed to find parking. You have to stress to pedal for the wave and this and that, and then kind of then slowly I started, doing more jiu-jitsu and less surfing. That's one of the reasons there.
Yeah.
You know?
I know you started doing jujitsu to help you stay in better shape for surfing.
Yeah, yeah.
What kinds of stuff did you learn surfing that translated back to the mats?
I think one of the biggest things, even my instructor, when I started jiu-jitsu, he told me that my base and my balance was very good.
Hmm.
For a white belt, even better. I started already with that balance and base, solid, like better than some purple belts at that time. So I think that was probably the biggest thing that I translated from surfing to jiu-jitsu, and a little bit of let's say, how can I say this? Maybe style, you know, not being too stiff and
Yeah,
robotic.
just flowing.
Yeah, flowing more. Yeah,
Yeah,
coming from the surfing too. Moving more freely. The body already some coordination. Arms and legs and
yeah,
all that stuff. I think yeah, that's the biggest
yeah.
the big translation.
I've been trying to surf more and more, and I disclaimer, I might be the worst surfer in LA.
Yeah.
I might be,
Yeah.
but I noticed immediately like how many similarities there are between surfing and jujitsu. Just like
Yeah. Yeah.
not always being in control and having to be
Totally.
willing to go with the flow. It's like
Yeah. Totally.
sometimes you get in positions where there's not much you can do but wait for your opening, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
That's pretty good.
But
Also, when you get, how do you say, you get drawn under the water
mm-hmm,
on a big wave, also like knowing your spatial awareness
mm-hmm,
when you're under the water, and not panicking, all that stuff, because it's huge if you're surfing big waves, and it's, yeah, it could be life and death situation if you panic, no good. So
definitely.
yeah,
I'm
both.
staying away from the big waves for now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
If I
is.
get caught under like a 2 foot wave, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna die today. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
held under for like 4 seconds, and I'm already like, you know what? I'm gonna
yeah,
go back inside.
yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah, like if there was a belt system in surfing, I'd be probably like 2 levels before white belt. But I love it. Like I
Transparent
feel
belt.
like I already yeah, invisible belt. Yeah, I already understand why people love it so much, and just want to continue to learn. Maybe we
Yeah,
can get you back out there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can do, definitely. It's in Brazil also. It's very common, like
Hmm.
surfing and jiu-jitsu, like super common. Lots of people they do both.
Yeah,
Very, very, very common.
definitely. So you came out here with your wife. Like, how old were you when you came out here?
I guess I was maybe either 29 or 30.
Yeah, and what made you come out?
So we came here because we both graduated in physical education
Hmm.
in Brazil. We were PE teachers, and but over there the physical education means also that you are a personal trainer, because you get both
Hmm.
sides of the education. So we came here because teaching in Brazil was not good.
Hmm.
Teachers there, they don't get paid much. It's hard. You have to work for, the government, and the government doesn't pay you much and all that stuff. So we decided to come here to try to see if it was a better fit for us. We came first time. I came with my wife. We came together as we had a student exchange program
Hmm.
from the college that we were going to. So we came here, we came and we stayed in Boston for 6 months. It was we were allowed to work, so it was like was a working experience. That's what they say,
Hmm.
for the students, right? So to come here to the US and learn how the work environment works and all that stuff. So we stayed here for 6 months. We were working like McDonald's stuff, a bagel, which is huge in the East Coast. I was a sandwich maker, bagel stuff. And then after those 6 months, we went back to Brazil, and we liked here a lot.
Yeah.
With that job, we already made some money, and
Hmm.
we saved some money, and we thought, well, that's imagine what we could do if we come here and we you know uh, we can teach PE or something, or if we get a better job that sandwich making, we can make more money and it's gonna be better in Brazil. Already sandwich making was pretty much better in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
better than teaching in Brazil. So yeah, after those 6 months here, we went back to Brazil and then we applied again for the same program, and we came here this time to the West Coast. We went to Lake Tahoe,
Mm.
and then from there we worked our visa situation to stay here and stay indefinitely now as our place to live. And we are very happy here.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how Brazil is right now, but I don't think it has changed much. So yeah,
Do you
we
ever
are.
go back down and visit your hometown at all?
No, my parents they come here
Mm.
pretty much every year. We are planning to go probably next year because we have a daughter now that's 4 year old,
Mm.
and we want some parents that haven't seen her in person. We want to show her and take her to Brazil and uh, see what she thinks about Brazil because we sometimes we think about going back to Brazil, but that was actually the first idea. Once we came to the US, we thought, oh, okay, we're gonna work here. Maybe we make some money. We go back to Brazil and open our own gym and stuff and whatever. But you know, as the time goes, that idea started fading, 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 and sometimes we still think going back to Brazil, but you know, I don't know. We have to go there first,
Yeah.
see how it is, take our daughter there, and she doesn't speak much English, Portuguese, anyways.
Mm.
So it's gonna be a big change, but I don't know, just ideas. But at the end of the day, we are happy here. I don't know. I'm just saying this because there is a possibility, but very, very small.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. So, where did you actually get your black belt? So you moved out here as a purple belt, right?
I moved as a
Were
purple.
you training in Tahoe?
No, I was no, not
I
training
didn't think
there.
there were any
I
gyms.
stayed there for 6 months.
Mm.
I was working in a casino.
Ah, okay.
Um, and then one of the guys from the casino, he was a how do you say a dealer
Yeah.
in the tables,
Yeah.
right? He saw me and he knew I was a Brazilian already because of the exchange of the program, and he said, "Oh, you do jiu-jitsu, right?" That's yeah, I do. I don't know how he just, but he was a karate black belt, so I
Yeah.
think he saw the way I moved or something like that, and then he asked me for teach him some classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I did. I brought my gi from Brazil. I had my belt, everything. So I taught him some private lessons. And by the way, that's how I figured out that I should invest in jiu-jitsu instead of physical education here, trying to teach PE here because that was the first thought when we came here.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw that, I'm Brazilian, at that time purple belt was there wasn't many here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 13 years ago there was some, but purple belt was already okay to teach. So I thought, well, if I just invest and go more and work on my brown and black, and I'm already getting some privates here from people asking me, maybe you know it could be a business. So that's what I started doing. I came here, then I moved from Lake Tahoe to LA, started doing my valet stuff, delivery driving stuff, and mixing with some classes and advertising on Craigslist to see if I could get some
OG.
OG, yeah, to see if I could get some privates, and then things started going, and then I started training more, because it was also hard in the beginning. I was training maybe twice a week
Mm-hmm.
because of the valet work is heavy on the body, like 10 hours a day is running, up and down the street, not easy. So I was tired when I was going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
but I still managed to train twice a week, and then I added open mat on Saturday, so 3 times a week. And open mat, I would go like spend maybe 2 to 3 hours on the open mat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice consistency for like almost 3 years doing like that.
Where were you training?
I was training at a gym in it was called, it doesn't exist anymore. It
Mm-hmm.
was called Professional Training Center under Japa Neves. He was he's a black belt under Café from Gracie Barra.
Mm-hmm.
And I trained. I got my brown from him. I when I came to the US, I was a purple belt. I trained with him and got my brown. I was already teaching there
Mm-hmm.
some classes at his gym. And then, you know, things got a little weird. So I left and went to Verdun as a brown belt already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started training there and teaching there. And it was funny because once things started going weird at that gym, then I started to look at different gyms to go, right? I didn't have much contact with other people, because I was always very like let's say loyal to the team. Whatever team I was, no, that's my team. Forget about the rest. So I
Mm-hmm.
never looked around, nothing. So once things went sour there, I decided to look around, and then I saw Fabricio Werdum gym. That was not too far. And then I looked online who was teaching there, and then I saw Fernando Betega, who was part of my team in Brazil, in the same town, Curitiba.
Really?
Yeah, so
Nice.
we used to train together over there. So I said, "Well, man, that's my roots right
Yeah.
here, right?" So I'm gonna come to Verdun, and then everything was, like quickly. I was at home again and training again, and
I didn't know you and Fernando went back like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It,
cool.
it was crazy. I wasn't expecting nothing.
Yeah.
I just looked online to see who was teaching that I saw. I didn't know Lucas. I didn't know Verdun personally. Of course, I knew him from the championships, but you know, the connection was really Fernando.
Yeah. Was it the same place over on Lincoln?
Yeah,
Or
the same place. Yeah.
yeah. What year was that? I didn't even know the gym had been around too long.
Yeah, I don't know. I went there like maybe 3 months before Fabricio fought uh, Fedor.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly when was that.
Yeah, I don't remember when that was either.
Yeah, maybe
I guess that's
2009 or something
yeah.
like that.
Guess that's not that long ago.
Yeah, it's not
Huh?
that long ago.
Yeah, man. So you progressed there, got your black belt under
Got
Fabricio.
my black belt under
Cool.
Fabricio.
And then when did you start MMA Leech?
Then
'Cause I feel like you've had that going since I've known you. I think,
yeah,
right?
I think it was maybe 2013, or maybe, yeah, end of 2012,
Mm.
you know, because I started to realize that, like I told you, when we came from Brazil, we were happy teaching
Mm-hmm.
and making the money that we were making because it was already more than teaching in Brazil. But then for the standards here it was kind of, it's okay, but I need something more. And then I started realizing that, well, if I don't open my gym, if I just keep teaching as an employee, there is a cap there. I'm not gonna go much further than this. I have to kill myself, teach 10 classes a day, which is pretty much impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So then I never really wanted, was never my dream to open a jiu-jitsu gym. I never wanted that. I prefer to teach privates instead.
Mm-hmm.
That was my main business at that time. And then I said, well, but even with privates, I still, yeah, I'm gonna make more money if I teach 6 privates a day. Oh my God, that's pretty good. But then my body at some point is gonna break because Every private, you have to roll, you have
Mm-hmm.
to do, you know. So I decided, no, I have to figure out something else. So it was the online stuff. Online stuff, I always liked, always something that was attracted computers, online, and internet. And so I started slowly. I went to uh, event for online marketing
Mm-hmm.
in, I guess, was October 2012. And then from there I started, because I didn't know anything either, about business, online business, all that stuff, marketing. So I started working slowly, studying slowly, and building. And today it's it's pretty good. It's based. I'm already making more money online than teaching.
Yeah.
So I want to expand that and make really, really, like, the main source, like 80% of my money. I would like to be coming from online, 20% from teaching. That would be, I think, ideal for me. So I
Yeah.
can take a break a little bit from teaching if I want. I will never take a break completely, because part of my online stuff is teaching. So
Mm-hmm.
I have my product, I have my courses. So I have to be teaching at the gym. So I keep sharp teaching. I keep with new ideas. I keep rolling to, all that stuff, so I can release my courses, which are, instructional videos. So my teaching must be sharp. So I have to keep practicing every day. But anyways, I would like to, in the near future, I think that my online business is gonna be, you know, the yeah, it's gonna be pretty
Yeah, man.
good.
It's awesome. And by not opening up a gym, you allow yourself to have more time to really focus on the content and the instruction and get
Exactly.
an even larger following from people that can't make it to take a private lesson with you. If
Yeah.
you can't make it to take a private lesson with Gustavo, you should. He's the dopest instructor. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's awesome, man. Cool. Well, I keep these podcasts pretty short. Don't want
Yeah,
to take
yeah,
too
yeah,
much more of your time, but
yeah,
feel
yeah.
free to shout out anything you'd like as we wrap up, or if you
Yeah.
have any closing thoughts.
Shout out to the jiu-jitsu guys who are listening right now. You know, I have 3 courses online. My fourth course is coming in about a month. If you guys wanna check it out, go to mmalite.com and check the courses available. Shout out to Big Terrence, Monster on the Mats, Monster in real life and podcasting stuff. Shout out to Sean McDonald working behind
The man,
behind the
the
scenes.
legend.
Yes, the legendary Sean McDonald. And shout out to everybody at Dynamics, Uprise MMA, Verdun Combat Team,
Yeah,
everybody who has been part of my journey, and friends, family, everybody, everybody.
definitely. Well, guys, as usual, you can find me on Instagram at Terrence Davey or buffnerdla.com, or you can check out the BuffNerd podcast on SoundCloud. Almost at Spotify. It's not on Spotify. Don't look there. Cool, man. Thanks, Gustavo.
All right, man. Good to see you. Good to talk to
Good to
you.
talk to you too, man.